What is going on YouTube? Tossing up a video on a Saturday, got some lawn work done, was outside, went to the beach, had a good time with the kids were with the grandparents. So everybody, I hope you're enjoying your summer, hope everything's going well. So I got a game here, I'm the Rams, my opponent has the Seahawks. What I've been doing is I've been hitting that L2, just randoming up, closing my eyes, and then I hit ready. And whoever it is, I gotta run with them. So this really puts, schemes to the test again in my series of ebooks. So I forced them here to a 4th down, and here there's Russell Wilson gets sacked. That's sack number 1 on the day. And here Russell Wilson again, pressure coming. Sacked and a fumble, but no, we do not recover. And Russell Wilson, he was not having a very fun game here for him and there, but he does convert. Seattle, they're a good team. I've been seeing them a lot. Online. They are the new Niners. And here on 4th down, nope, he does not convert. So I take over with the Rams, who have one of probably the worst offenses in the game. You have Steven Jackson, who is very, very slow. Watching him run is like watching paint dry. I think to give up a horrible analogy and nothing clever there, but he does bounce off of people, he does bounce forward. When you put Deion Richardson in the game, he gives you a nice little burst of speed because, again, Steven Jackson is slower than, say, me trying to figure out calculus. And they're just getting worse. The jokes are getting worse. And there is the Seattle offense. They're going back to work. And here he finds Sidney Rice. Sidney Rice. And here's Russell Wilson from my town of residence. And then Jenkins picks off Russell Wilson from Richmond. He went to collegiate, actually, local boy, done good. I saw him actually play at NC State. He was very good. You could tell that he was going to be something else. And he was also a minor league baseball player, so you knew he was an athlete, but nobody really expected him to come into the league and just tear it up like he did last year, but he did for sure. And there's Steven Jackson, very slow, but always falling forward. Again, that's the theme here. Slowness, and that's what the Rams are. But Danny Amendola, the Wes Welker, the off-injured Danny Amendola, I think he gets injured taking showers. I don't know what he's doing in the shower, but he does get injured often. That's one thing that really bothers me about the NFL and the media. A lot of times they're like, hey, watch this player, check him out, and then he's injured, and you're like, yeah, why don't you watch nothing? Don't tell me about a player and hype him all up if he's going to get hurt all the time. And there's an interception from a very good player, Jake Long. He's from Virginia, actually, UVA prospect, which is amazing because the UVA team sucks so bad, but they always produce pros. And there's Stonehands, Steven Jackson dropping the ball there. And here I throw it. Oh, man, you got to lob that wheel route. You got to lob it. And I did not lob it, and I get paid. No, I don't get paid. I get punished for it. I get punished like my poorly articulated commentary right here. And here, run a little max cover, and Russell Wilson is trying to poop his drawers, and that was not a sack because he gained a yard on play. And he started countering what I was doing on defense because I was bringing a lot of pressure, I was bringing a lot of heat on him. So what he did was he started running with Russell Wilson, which was a pretty smart strategy. I was mixing in max coverage with a little bit of heat. And on the next possession, he gets close 14-7. I try to redirect, and he ends up on 3rd down. He ends up forcing a punt, which is fine. Sometimes you got to punt. There's just nothing else you can do. You can't just drive down when you're 4th and 23 on your own 2 and expect to convert. And they're horrible users. I don't know who I was trying to tackle. And he turns a punt into some positive yards. Now here he goes back running with Russell Wilson, and he is quite elusive. And he takes off here again, and that was his strategy after he saw that I was locking him up on defense, locking up those pass patterns. And that is one of the, the things you got to watch out for when you run a pattern. And there he is, sacked for the 3rd time, sacked. But here on the out route, he does get it over to Sidney Rice. And with Marshawn, when you got Marshawn, you run it in 4-6. That's my homage to Big Rye Entertainment right there. I want to give him credit for coming up with that. 4-6. I can't do it as good as him, but He's the genius that comes up with things like that. And there's Mike Mulligan. He gets a mulligan Alright, how are you gonna name your kid Mulligan? Or, well, that's not his fault. But here I redirect. I only have a couple seconds to get down the field, and I'm just moving the ball, man. And there is Amendola on the wheel route. I love that play in the red zone. A lot of times they ignore that player out there on the wheel route, but you got to be careful because sometimes it looks like he's open and they might be in a zone, and somebody will try to cut and shoot that gap. But here, I'm showing you a kickoff for only one reason, and that's because I believe it's Chris Givens takes it to the house. And that is a crib 4-6. And yep, he nods his head because he is loving it. Like McDonald's. Like, I like McDonald's sometimes, you know, but I can always taste the diabetes. Here's a weird play. He calls the snap, and then I guess he lagged out or something, and he didn't react. And here is 4th and 3, and he converts. Yes, anticlimactic. And he fumbles, though, and Cortland Finnegan, the known trash talker, he loves talking trash, picks up the ball, and he gets under people's skin, but they review the booth review, and the call is overturned. So he gets the ball back, and he's going to start driving, and Russell Wilson just takes off running, and he almost ends his life right there. And then here he gets sacked. That is technically a sack. I think that's the 4th one. And he tries to throw it, and that out route was working. Got to throw up some yellows every once in a while. And here Russell Wilson just takes off in the middle of the open field because I backed Laurinaitis off thinking he would pass on that streak. And on 4th down again. You know, that's the thing, is like a lot of times when you're just frustrating your opponent, he thinks that you might have a better D than you do. I think this guy was used to running down and scoring on a lot of people, and he saw that I had the Rams, and he does score there. But here, that's why you lob it. You lib it, you love it, and you lob it. And Steven Jackson comes through with the big conversion there. And now all I have to do is waste time, get back in that end zone. Man, I do get sacked though. And on 4th and 13, I end up going for it, and I see Mr. Gibbons open for the touchdown, and that is basically the clincher right there. I'm up 14, and he knows he can't move the ball other than running, so it's going to take him lots of time to score. And here, you know, he takes off again, and I'm fine with that. You know, eventually Russell Wilson is going to fumble. If it's not a designed run, sometime he is going to fumble. You just know it. You know, with Robert Griffin, those guys that use, ooh, nice play though. He finds Sidney Wright. He hits me with a skinny post, which is my signature. And then he takes off again, and he's about to go in the end zone, and it gets a little fuzzy, but he does fumble on the one. And like I said, you keep running with the QB, eventually he's going to cough it up, and he does. And there's no review for that. There's no way to challenge it, and that's pretty much the end of the game because Gibson here, I don't know his first name, and then Steven Jackson just keeps running up the gut, and that's what he does. He falls forward even though he's slow. He's retarded slow. And that's not a very politically correct word, but you know what? That is a correct description of it. And here's a field goal. And I almost miss it, but I squeeze it through. Squeeze it out for 3 points and a 17-point lead with 1:50 to go. I'm not concerned. I'm backing off the D. I don't really care. He hits that out route again, whatever. Doesn't bother me. I think that's the play that he wanted before, but I was throwing up a lot of zones. And then Fletcher tackles him. Russell Wilson, he keeps hitting that out route, but you know, it's all for naught at this point. Yeah, go ahead, walk in the end zone. I'm going to go ahead and run. He goes for 2 here. You know, don't blame him for it. He tries to get within, I think 8 or 9, whatever. And then Deion Richardson gonna run out the clock here. Steven Jackson, only 22 seconds left. And that's pretty much going to be the game, and another successful win with a horrible team. The Rams are just an awful, awful team. And I get sacked on the last play. They are probably one of the worst teams in the game, but I did pick up 10 nuggets. And he does send me a message, and this is the first one I've gotten ever because I am not a defensive player. He does send me a message. I figure he's going to talk some crap about me, but he lets me know that I played good D. So I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you very much for the win. He was not a dirtbag. He played a straight up game. I can always appreciate the non-scum of the world. So thank you for watching my video. 5 points.